This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. Welcome to our flower series. In this video, we'll be piping Buttercream hypericum berries. It's broken down into steps so you can skip ahead, rewind, and rewatch as desired. Now let's make the color. We're making our little hypericum berries, and we're doing a nice little pink, but they come in a range of colors. So if you don't feel the pink, make yourself another color. They come in a nice little white, green, some reds. There's a lot of variety there, even some orangey ones that are great for fall, and these make great little fillers and additions to floral cakes. So I'm going to start with my American style buttercream. I've got some neon bright pink, lemon yellow, a little bit of royal blue, and finally, just a little bit of buckeye brown squeezed out on my lid. And I'm going to start with the pink and the brown. So more pink than brown because I want a nice little pink color. So start with 3 little specks of that pink and just 1 of my brown. I just want to mute it just a little bit. Add a little bit of that kind of antique feel. To the color as I'm mixing. And you can see it picks up that brown. It makes a nice little soft shade. So it's a great way to get a soft muted pink. More pink than brown, just a little touch of that brown, and it'll help give you a nice, I feel like they are like antique style colors where they just have a little bit of that faded look to them. And next we're going to make just a little touch of green. So I'm going to start with some blue, just a few specks of that royal, less on the yellow, and just a tiny touch of that brown. And we'll look at this, see how it reads, see how it feels next to our pink, and then we'll add more color if we need to. Right now, it's feeling just a little bit too tan. My little speck of brown was maybe just a little too big, and that's fine. The color's still light. So I'm just gonna repeat my blue and my yellow to up the feel of it to more green. You can see just like with the pink, it gives it kind of a soft, natural, earthy feel. I always feel like adding a little touch of brown gives the colors kind of a little antique vibe, especially when you're making kind of light, medium, or pastel colors. Those soft colors, it gives it a nice little antique feel, and that's going to be perfect. You can see it's almost a nice kind of like sagey color, but very pale. So that's going to look great next to that pink that we just made. For this flower, we're using 2 bags. They're both 12-inch disposable. You can use whatever you like. And you can see we have the green fitted with a coupler because we'll be changing tips. The pink, the tip is fitted directly into the bag. For our green, we're going to use a number 102. So think a small petal tip. This is a nice straight one. And we'll also use a number 1 with our green. So a small round hole. If you don't have a number 1, try a number 2. For our pink, we're going to use a number 7. So this is also a plain round tip, just much larger on the opening. For techniques for our little berries, we're going to do 2 pretty simple ones. The first is dots. With our number 1 tip, we're going to make regular dots. So think up off the surface, squeeze, let it hit that full height, stop, and spiral around to get a nice little finish on your dot. With our number 7 and our pink, we're going to do something just a little bit different than that though. We're going to be up off the surface like we normally would, squeeze till you reach that nice full size, and then just slowly keep squeezing and pull up. When you get a little bit of height there, then you stop squeezing and circle around. And this makes what I call an elongated dot. It has a little more depth to it than the dot normally would, which is why I made my first one with my 7. And it gives those little berries some height and kind of their characteristic shape. And then with our number 1 and our green, we'll do a nice regular little dot. With our number 102, we're gonna make little leaves. And these are like teardrop shaped petals, except they're really short. So they're kind of like short, round ones. So think, don't pull as much. We're basically gonna start the same way we normally would, with the fat end anchored towards the center, the skinny end pointing out. And as we squeeze, we're just gonna pull out a little bit before we spin the nail and pull back. And that's gonna give us nice little short, rounded petals. So think they're gonna look fatter than our normal teardrop shape because they're a little bit shorter in length. So it's gonna give them a slightly different profile and make them just a little more rounded. So for our little berries, in order to put our techniques together, we're gonna first start out with our bag of green with the 102 tip on it. We're gonna pipe 3 leaves as a base with our 102 tip. So you wanna make sure they're all kind of joined together at the center, kind of equally spaced and in thirds. They don't have to be perfectly next to each other. You just want the idea of this little clump of leaves. And then we're gonna change to our bag with our green and our number 7, and we're gonna make that elongated dot right on the center, right on top of the base of all those leaves. And once we do that, we're gonna change tips on our green to our number 1, and we're just gonna give it one tiny little dot right there on top to finish it off. And these will make sweet little berries that are a great kind of filler. They'll add a touch of color, a little bit of variety to the greenery if you want to do them on your cakes, cupcakes, and other creations. So we're ready to pipe now. We've got our small 2-inch flower nail. I've put on my little template with my third markings, so it's divided in thirds to help us with our spacing. And I've got my green with my 102 tip, so we are ready to go. I'm gonna start with the fat end of the tip right there at the center. The skinny end is pointing towards the outside of my nail. My back of my bag is off kind of towards like 130 so that I'm lined up to make those nice little petite petals. And I just wanna start squeezing, pull out a tiny touch, rotate nice and big, and then pull back. And you can see that gives me that nice, beautiful, kind of rounded petal. It's a slightly teardrop shape, but you can see it's a little squatter. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 more of those. So nice and slow, just pull out a touch, and then spin, slow and big. Paper is sliding around on me. I'll get it right back in the spot where it needs to be, and I'll make my third one. And if you need to, on the last one, just rock the back end of the bag up as you slide back in so you don't damage the first one you made. And you can see that gives us that nice little trio of petals there. We're pretty equally spaced, and we're ready to put on our little berry. So I've changed to my bag of pink with my number 7 tip. I'm gonna set myself up, so I just wanna see where the surface is, make sure the tip is hovering above and we're straight up and down, and then I wanna squeeze. Hit a nice full width with it, and then just pull up nice and slow to get a sweet little berry. Our final step is going to be to top that pink dot we made with a green one. So just a nice tiny dot there, so straight up and down, just off the surface of the frosting, tiny dot to finish it off. And you can see that leaves us with a sweet little berry. If you pipe a bunch of these, they make great filler next to your arrangements that add a pop of color and a different feel to the greenery you're adding into your designs. So that's all for this tutorial. If you enjoyed this one, try checking out some of our other basic videos like our rose or our daisy. And if you're looking for more of a challenge, maybe try out our peony. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more about the cake decorating materials and equipment we use, or just some inspirational videos about cake decorating itself, you can follow us on Insta or YouTube at Cake Decorating School. If you'd like to know more about yearly membership and what it entails, you can go to www.cakedecoratingschool.com for more information. And if you're interested in these products, you can check the links in the description.